3 in the morning. Just got done working out, right? And I was thinking about something. Yesterday I found myself in a place where I was like, I wouldn't say this close ready to quit, but I was in a space where I was like, fuck this job, right? And I think we all get there with our jobs from time to time. You know what I mean? It's just, with JB Hunt, they've been pushing it. Like, I don't like being overworked. All right. And I guess most people don't like being overworked. It's kind of like an obvious thing, right? But I like to have a life outside of my job. And what I've come to discover, one, is that when you work hard, you get rewarded with more work. That's one. Two, if I want to have any sort of life, I got to make my life outside of my job. And three, if I want to do anything outside of my job, I got to make the time to do the shit outside of my job. Hence why I'm at the gym at 2 or 3 in the morning, right? Because the way my job is set up, this trucking shit. Trucking, tell you something about trucking. One, most motherfuckers that you drive a truck for, they want you in the truck. Let me explain what I mean by that. They want your life to revolve around that vehicle. And that's the thing I'm starting to begin to resent about it. Like, USA Truck was the same way. I remember when I quit USA Truck, I was doing touch freight. And I just, let me see, did I meet Toria yet? We was hanging out. But they had put me on a touch freight route, right? Touch freight, I didn't have to do no driving a whole lot. I probably had to drive like maybe an hour at the most. I had to unload the boxes myself. Now, unloading the boxes wasn't no joke. You unloading the whole 53-foot trailer by yourself, that's some real work, especially in the summertime. All right? But I didn't have to drive, and then what they fucked up at is they let me be home every night. Like, so I got to experience the leisure of, one, having a girlfriend, two, being able to live with her for a while, and three, coming home every night, right? So it put me in a space where I'm like, man, fuck this over the road shit. Like, I've been traveling since been traveling. Like, I was in the Navy before I got a trucking job. And, before I got a trucking job, I was in a nuclear plant. So I've never really had a stable life outside of living at my mom's house, But when they gave me that touch freight route, I was home every night. Not only that, but I was making like $1,700 a week. I was making money. And I was making money working I was making that amount working like 4 days a week. It's just where me and USA Truck fell out was, one, they wanted me to go back on the road, which I wasn't fucking with. Because one, what they would do is, okay, what USA Truck used to do to me, they did it to me like once or twice. I remember. Me and Tori was supposed to hang out one week, do shit one weekend or go out somewhere. They ran me all the way to Kansas City on a Friday, right? And my driver manager was, and I would tell him, like, listen, I forget the guy's name. But I'm like, DM, we're going to just call him DM, right? Hey, run me back toward New York because I got shit to do Saturday. Oh, yeah, we're going to set it up, da-da-da. And what would happen is over the weekend, driver managers, you'd have one main driver manager during the week. That was the guy that knew what he was doing. Everybody else that was outside of your main driver manager was like college kids. Meaning like, motherfuckers that may have taken a course or two, just happened to get a driver manager job, whatever the case may be. I can tell when I'm talking to a college kid over the phone, and this pre-workout's kicking in again. But fuck it, right? It makes me a better talker. That's one thing I've noticed about pre-workout. It brings my thoughts out more fluently. Anyway, so I would deal with, the younger driver managers over the weekend because I can tell when somebody sounds young. They sounded really young. I'm in Kansas City. Oh, yeah, we're going to try to find you a load to go back. I'm 200 miles. I don't know how far Kansas City is from New York, but I'm all the way the other way. I'm out by St. Louis. And I'm like, listen, I got shit to do Saturday. Like, y'all need to run me back to New York Saturday. Oh, we're going to try to find you a load. Don't worry about it. Da-da-da. Saturday, Friday evening rolls around. I don't got no load to go back. Saturday, I end up stuck in Kansas City. Like, and I'm not saying, this is just one of the instances when they did this shit, right? So I remember me and Tori got into an argument that weekend. She was like, no, we were just on some other shit at the time. She was like, if I can't depend on you, da-da-da-da-da. We were just mad. She was really just pissed off because I wasn't home when I was supposed to be home, right? What I'm getting at is this. I don't like a trucking company. And I've never liked the idea of being confined to a job. It was the same thing the Navy did. Like the Navy wanted you to revolve your life around the Navy. Like even when you're off, like they wanted you to be about the Navy. Even when you at the house, you sleeping, them motherfuckers want you to be all about that job in the Navy. I got tired of that after a while. And it's the same thing with trucking. Like anytime I have a big money job, they want you to be absorbed with the job. Like, it was the same thing with Touch Freight, right? So, when I got to a point where I quit USA Truck, I remember when I did it. Again, I was running the Touch Freight route. I was home every night. That was where they really fucked up at. Like, when they gave me an opportunity to be Touch Freight and be home every night, when I got to come home every night and eat a plate of food, because Tori is the type of motherfucker, she love to cook. And I mean, can cook good. Like, so, I'm one of them type of niggas. I'm from the South. I like to eat. So you give me a woman that knows how to cook and knows how to cook good and consistently cooks good, my feet are planted there. Like, Jesus, pre-workout. Anyway, so I'm in the mall one day with Toria. Me and her just hanging out, going to the mall, whatever. They call me. Hey, Mr. Williams, we're taking you off the Touch Freight route when we're sending you back over the road, because we're finding out that you're not wanting to work 5 days a week. Now, let me explain something about Touch Freight. Touch Freight was, okay, unloading a whole 53-foot trailer in the summer was brutal. It paid good money, but that was some of the hardest work I've done since being a bosun mate in the Navy. That was telling you, unloading a trailer, like it'd be 80 degrees, right? In a 53, it don't have no ventilation. So you just in a trailer with a bunch of bleach boxes or bottle, like, okay, you unloading a whole trailer, whatever. It's got bleach, got bottled water, packages. I mean, it's like unloading a whole Amazon truck, but times 3. All right. In the summer, that shit beats you the fuck down. So I would tell them, I would ask them, and the way the Touch Freight route worked, them motherfuckers was real chill. They was like, hey man, listen, if you only want to work 4 days a week, that's on you. It's cool. We have no problem with that. Now, where the issue started is USA Truck, and this is how these bitches try to lie to me, right? These motherfuckers call me in the middle of the mall. Hey, we're going to send you back over the road or whatever the case may be, and, the Touch Freight route's coming to an end. So just don't worry about it. We're going to send you back over the road. And over the road, what they would do is you drive 5-6 days a week, you get home one day. But the way they got you home was you'd get home at 7 o'clock that morning or, it was literally like a 15-hour home time type deal. You get home around 7, or let's say you get home at 7. They want you back out at 4 that next morning. So you really ain't really chilling like you chilling. It's not like you just sitting down really resting. The thing I always hated I'm starting to really dislike about trucking is they want you to be absorbed with that truck. So they called me while I was in the mall. And they was like, oh, we're sending you back over the road. Don't worry about it. The Touch Freight route's coming to an end. Which really it wasn't. Because I called the office. I was like, hey, is the Touch Freight route coming to an end? No, you've been doing a good job with us. It's no problem. We like how you work this and the third. Whatever. So with the Touch Freight route, being that I was making $1,700 in 4 days, I didn't need to work 6 days a week. Like financially, it didn't make sense. Okay, if I'm making $1,700 to work 4 days, why would I drag myself through 2 or 3 more days of work when that shit is brutal as fuck? I needed rest, right? So when they called me in the mall, they was like, hey, we're sending you back over the road. I told them, I was like, listen, if you send me back over the road, I'm giving you your truck back. Because mind you, I wasn't used to coming home to a home-cooked meal outside of my mama's house. So I've always been moving around all over the place, up and down the east side. New York to Georgia to Florida, up and down the eastern seaboard. I literally quit the job that day and got hired with JB Hunt the same day. I called him. I was like, hey, I just quit USA Truck. You got a job, da-da-da. Oh, yeah, we got a job, but you're going to have to work night shift, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward to now. Right? I don't know what my job got going on. I don't know if they're firing people or what, but I have been getting work to the grindstone. I'm getting off at I get there, I mean, I'm up now at 2, but I get there at like 5 something in the morning. Probably start driving at 5:30. Some days I work till about 6:30, 7:30 on a bad day, on a real bad day. I've been there as late as 8 o'clock. I say all that to say this. I'm someone that gets really agitated when a job starts to absorb my life. Like, I have to get up at 2 in the morning and make it to the gym because I like working out. Working out is my passion. I love to come lift weights. That's my thing, right? But I've come to also understand that, one, based on the trucking industry, I'm being a bit spoiled. Like, sometimes I've come so far that I forget where the distance I've come, I guess. Pause. But, I was angry at my job yesterday. I was irritated, because, the way they had my pre-plan set up, I would have got off at like 3 or 4. And then, the DM calls me. He's like, hey, can we switch your load around? And I'm starting to get this feeling that I'm either toward the top of the list of people that work, or, motherfuckers feel like I'm dependable. So it's that I work hard, so we're going to give you more work to do because you're dependable type thing. Which I hate that. Like, don't give me more shit because a motherfucker can't work. Like, that's not my fault that whoever else is driving trucks is slacking and dragging ass. I don't bullshit when I do these jobs. I do my job, for the most part, within reason. So, yesterday I found myself in a place where I was really, really resentful of my job. Picture this, right? You work yourself to a point where you're able to be home every night. And then you get irritated about the job you work because they work you. But you're home every night. Like, I don't have to travel up and down the eastern seaboard for work. I don't have to be confined to a ship. I used to hate those little underways or whatever in the Navy because it didn't make sense. Like, the way the Navy did shit, they just wanted you underway because they felt like it. We're going to do some exercises with the Truman or whatever the case may be, the practice. Nigga, why? Like, especially when you get a taste of shore duty. Like, it's like, nah, bro. Okay, if you ever been in the Navy, right? And you get to a point where you get a little bit of home life, you got a family, a wife, and kids, and, you get to have hobbies and shit. And I mean someone that's been, like, on deployment for, like, 7, 8, 9 months. I remember the first time I went on deployment for 7 months. That shit felt like a lifetime. Like, 7 months? Listen, I've never been to jail, but if the jail is anything like the military, I don't want to go. I couldn't imagine sitting that long. But to reiterate my point, right? After I left the gym, I just, like a light bulb click. You know what I mean? As angry as I get at my job, sometimes, I get rubbed the wrong way by it or whatever the case may be. And I've been at JB Hunt for like 2 years. 2 years and some change, right? 2 years flies by like fast as a motherfucker, right? When you work at a job. I feel a little bit more grateful this morning. You know what I mean? Because I could just not be working. Like, I pass by homeless people on the street all the time. Because in Buffalo, the homelessness is like an epidemic. Like, motherfuckers are aggressively homeless. Like, hey, spare change? Like, they're at your window. Like, these motherfuckers up here. So, sometimes I feel like maybe I'm being a bit ungrateful. Now, I will say this to add to my point. And this is something else that clicked in my head yesterday. I'm done with the simulation. And let me explain what I mean. Like, working every day, going home every day, working the same job every day. Right? I'm at a point now in my head. This clicked to me yesterday. And I don't know how long this shit gonna take. But I want to work myself out of this job. Like, I don't hate it. It's not a bad job. But I don't like working on other people's time. I'm starting to figure that out about myself. I don't like working on other people's time. I don't like a motherfucker telling me what to do. I don't like it. Like, not only that, but like with a truck, right? Or a high-paying job per se, right? Trucking, high-paying job. If you're doing anything, electrician, anything that's sort of like blue-collar or a trade. One, they only want you to make so much money. That's one. Two, if you make said so much money, they are going to tax the living shit out of it. Like, so the way JB Hunt be set up, they be round. I mean, they're getting better about it. The day that yesterday was it? Yesterday, today's Thursday. So they shot a message yesterday saying, "Hey, we need people to work Saturday." Like, I'm not going to work Saturday. I hopefully they don't call. They would have to call me and be like, "Hey, we need you specifically to work Saturday for me to work Saturday." I'm not volunteering myself. I'm not putting myself on the chopping block. Reason being is because I need a life outside of this. I don't like when my life starts to revolve around something a little too much. I don't mind working a job, but the way, like, okay, picture working Saturday, and then the Saturday you work, you make money, that money gets taxed. Because the way my shit's set up, it's a whole nother thing with my daughter and him. I don't get involved with Saturday more than I have to. Like, so I'm not even gonna have that fight. Anyway, that's another story for another time. They tax the living shit out of anything. When you start making like over $1,000 or 1,100, like 13, 1,400, they're gonna tax the living, especially up here in New York. Like, the more you make up here, the more they take. The jobs are better, but the taxes are higher. Like, these motherfuckers want it out you. So it's just I'm thinking, like, at some point, I don't know how it's gonna come out or whatever the case may be. I want to work for myself. Like, I don't even know how it's gonna work out, but I don't want to keep working jobs, because with jobs, there's a cap to it. There's a limit and there's rules. I don't like listening to people. Now look, I am grateful for my job. I really am. All right. It's just, when it comes to trucking, my dad put a real bad taste in my mouth with trucking. My cousin, on the other hand, he always had a love for it, but his dad wasn't as involved with him, and so my dad was more like his dad. Him and my dad act alike. So if you was able to meet my cousin and see him hang out with my dad, he acts more like my dad's son than I do. Hey, I'm my dad's son, but my cousin act like my dad. You get it. But, what I'm getting at is this. There's nothing I've been bred more to do. Most motherfuckers treat a truck like, oh my God, it's 18 wheels, it's big as fuck, how do you drive it? Listen, to me, that shit is an Altima with 4 ball tires, and I am a motherfucking thought. Like, I'm telling you, I was born and bred to drive a truck. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I know that truck like the back of my hand. Is between that and talking shit on this camera, I know how to do it without hesitation. I just know how to do it. I don't know. Trucking's one of those things, it comes to me natural. But God, I hate how motherfuckers set it up. Like, that shit yesterday, look, and I like my driver manager, but when I had my day scheduled to be off at like 3 to do other shit, and then a motherfucker switches it around, not mad at her, but like, hey, I need you to do this because you're more qualified to do this. The only thing I can think of is that someone else either, took the shortcut or, did some dumb shit, or I'm just more dependable. But I had to drive when the load she gave me, I had to drive another 2.5 hours to get it done. And I got to scale it because I had to go to California. And I know all these things because I've been truck driving for a while. I know how to do it. But God damn, was it an inconvenience. It took my day from 3 o'clock to 6. And that shit, like, that made me be on some type of shit where I was like, man, fuck this motherfucking job. But this morning, I woke up with a greater love for it. You know what I mean? I don't hate it as much as I did. I'm more grateful, but just this week and just the way I've been getting run lately, I think that's what it is. It's not so much the driving of the truck, it's the way I'm being run. Like, I'm getting off at 6 every day, trying to find time to work out, trying to find time to have a life, and it is it got me to the point where I just, hey, can you do more stuff? And I'm to the point where I want to cuss somebody out, and I don't like that. I don't like feeling that way toward anybody else outside of like anybody I have an enemy with. And no one's actually done anything to me. I just don't like the way I'm being run. Like, I like to have an easy day every now and then. I don't mind working hard, but goddamn, every single day, like at 6 o'clock, and then y'all talking about working and talk about folks, we need people to work Saturday? Like, man, hell no. And I don't even hate the people in the office. It's just, holy fuck. Like the way a truck is run, it beats your body up. It's like not only that, but the fact that I'm being worked so hard, it's starting to turn me back into a party animal. Like, and I don't know what it was. Like, it's just, like, okay, when you work hard, you feel the need to play harder. Like, before I was just working the truck job, and wanting to come home. But when you want to try to figure out how to make money on the side, and then you want to work out, and then you work a job, it's like, okay, at some point you got to make time to enjoy yourself. So it's put me in this brain space where it's like, okay, we got to, me and the GF, listen, me and her are finna be, we are coming to a hood near you. Like, we finna be at this concert, we going to this concert, we're going here, we're going there. I don't care if it's on the street. Look, I've pretty much like this, right? I've been the responsible person all my life, and being responsible requires you to walk on the straight and narrow. Well, straight, you get it. The straight and narrow, right? The problem with that is, eventually, you're going to crack. Like, and I've been doing it so long that I'm on some type of shit now. It's like, damn, I wish I could just get drunk and crash an Altima into a wall. I can see why bitches think, I can see why girls think like that. Like, I didn't understand it, but now I kind of get it. Like, it's like this life shit, it be so difficult to the point where you have to, like, pull yourself out the simulation a little bit and just, like, okay, I used to not understand the thought process of a motherfucker that felt they need to do drugs. Like, oh, I gotta get high, I gotta get drunk, I gotta get this. I'm like, nah, man, I gotta just, be in the game. Like, that was me. And now I kind of understand, like, okay, you gotta snap yourself out of this shit every now and then. Like, be drunk enough to take a break. Or just, not saying I'm gonna just, wild out and just do some stupid shit. But it's got me on some shit was like, I need to get out more. I'm starting to have like a party renaissance. Like, I was a hard partier when I was in my early 20s and mid 20s and I was 18. Like, I've been to most parties. And being at these jobs, they work me so hard. Like, it makes me be on some type of shit. It was like, hey, we need to plan something for the weekend. Because god damn it, if I don't get a drink, take a break, or go do something that's enjoyable where I can disconnect from the simulation a little bit of working hard to work harder, I'm going to snap and I'm going to choke somebody the fuck out. But yeah, man. And I love that I'm able to do these videos because I'm not trying to go viral or no shit like that, but it helps me, this talking to this camera, it helps me get my thoughts out to where I don't walk around with it. The gym, it helps me get my aggression out so I don't walk around with aggression, you know what I mean? It makes me more level-headed to where I can, like, okay, woosah, like, it ain't that bad. But, like, trying to make it in this life, or trying to just live and be above ground and be an upstanding citizen, not break the law, you know what I mean? I guess the more I live, the older I get, the more I start to understand that listen, the shit I used to give bitches for just being on, I just want to get drunk and crash out and be an idiot. Listen, I get it. I'm not saying I fuck with it to that extent, but I kind of get why. Like, because I can picture because, look, I can understand being a woman and just being stimulated by everything. Like, I'm a guy, so I don't necessarily let things just affect me, but I've watched it just in TV shows with my girlfriend at the time. Like, women just be affected by shit. So I can imagine the need for y'all to get a drink or party a little bit more. Like, versus a dude where shit just runs off your back and you just don't care because you're a dude. But what I'm saying is now I've in my mind, I've kind of, put myself in those shoes a little bit. So I kind of get it. But I'm glad I was able to just get that out. Because, man, I was frustrated. I had felt some type of way about all this stuff. So I'm going to get ready to go to work. Y'all do what y'all do. I do what I do. Y'all have a good Thursday.